Thank you. Good evening, all the participants. I am Aarti Bansal, Secretary to the Board of Internal Audit and Management Accounting. I welcome you to this webinar on emerging business trends. And now I request our Vice Chairman to interact with you.
Hello. So very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Sutar, am I audible?
Yes, absolutely, sir.
Earlier was I audible or not?
Sir, Abhi, now it is audible. Very clear.
Okay. So very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to this very interesting and very important webinar on emerging business trends. I would like to very candidly put across one thing, that we as professional internal auditors have to create value and worth for the audit committee or the board, as the case may be, so that they're able to take informed decisions to drive the entire organization, entity, or the company. I am very keen to express that internal audit, you are all aware, is a management function. How do you utilize the skills to equip the management with the knowledge which they intend? There were times when gold, petrol, currencies like dollar had value. Today, the entire value lies in data. How you use the data, how you manage the data and create value is again the work of an internal auditor. I would like to tell you that technology has to be roped in. The most important emerging business trend is to ensure that technology comes in your value so that you are able to effectively support the internal audit function. Technology gives us three benefits. Number one, when you use technology, you don't have to go for subsets. You go through the entire database and immediately you are there with the results. Second very important thing, computers don't have wives. The work is finished on time. No lagging of work. And third very important thing, computers ensure that the outputs are error-free. There may be certain monotonous tasks where a person may get dissuaded. But when it comes to a computer, a technological platform, the outputs are always error-free. So I would request you to understand and take into your cognizance the thought process with which you could create value and worth for the organization where you are employed or where you are providing your advisory services. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the very revered speaker of the day who would speak on this. He is none other than Dr. Srinivas R. Iyengar. He is the director, Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Studies. And we have the moderator of this session, who is also the special invited to the internal audit, to the Board of Internal Audit and Management Accounting. He is CA Biswar Ranjan Sutar, who comes from Bhubaneswar, Odisha. So I will not stand between you and the honorable speakers and the moderator. I would just request you to be deeply engrossed in this webinar and create value. Before I say goodbye to you, I would like to discuss a small issue. Auditors, consultants, people have different aspirations from them. And once a consultant told me, sir, we work so hard, yet we are not praised. So I answered him by way of a couplet. The couplet says, तारीफ की चाहत तो नाकाम लोगों की फितरत है. तारीफ की चाहत तो नाकाम लोगों की फितरत है. काबिल लोगों के तो दुश्मन भी कायल होते हैं. So put things in the right perspective. When you work hard, you are always acknowledged and people always respect the contribution you make, even if the person is your bitterest of enemies. So over to Aarti Bansal so that you could invite the moderator and the speaker of the day for further proceedings.
Now I request our moderator Vishwaranjan Sutar sir to introduce the faculty and move forward.
Thank you, Artiji, and respected Vice Chairman to the Board of Internal Audit and Management Accounting. A eminent voice in the space of strategic management, Dr. Iyengar. It gives me a pleasure to be part of this webinar because today, when we talk about the ecosystem and the profession hand in hand, unless we acclimatize ourselves with the trending business ecosystem, then the relevance and sustainability of the profession is at a distance. Couple of months back, there is an article in Forbes which narrated about 5 broad business trends which are going to take over for next couple of years. And if I list it down, it talks about accelerated digital transformation. It talks about inflation and supply chain security. And this is very critical in times today when geopolitical plays a very critical role in terms of how we check on inflation and supply chain security today. Of course, a third, sustainability. When ESG takes a mainstay in how the business being planned today, and ESG at macro level plays a very mainstay role in terms of business trend. And two critical, fourth and fifth is immersive customer experience. Today, be it COVID, be it digital transformation, today nobody wants to be a physical access to the stores. So everybody wants to be in the retail space over the net. And thanks to metaverse, how it plays down on immersive experience, it is going to change the business outlook, what we perceive it to be. And of course, the talent change. Today in HR space, they use a term called a great resignation and quite quitting. Because today it is the employees, those who choose their employers rather than employers choosing the employees. I know and I believe the key insights on macro and micro business trends, which Dr. Srinivasan is going to take us on very key insights on this over next 1.5 hours, will be very interesting to watch it out. And I believe the participants will have a thorough, insightful key takeaways from the session. And Mr. Srinivasan, who holds a PhD degree in management and mentored a score of students under his guidance in the areas of strategic management, international marketing, retail surplus behavior, and he has a wide experience of 20 odd years in corporate and academic line. I believe he'll do justice and will give his insights in this space, which is very interesting. And I'm personally also looking forward to it. Open to the space, Mr. Srinivasan.
Pleasure. Thank you, Charanjit Nanda sir and Vishwaranjan Sutarji. Absolute pleasure of meeting you. In fact, 2 days before, I had a very long session, 4-hour session with almost 50 plus students, which we started a course on DBMR. And the students are already in the LinkedIn, they are barging. Sir, when are you going to have a physical session? I always love to interact with chartered accountants for 2 reasons. They are too committed. They are very focused. And it is always pleasure because we do have a relationship with ICI who are offering the DBMF course through Jamnalal Bajaj. We are offering this customized program to them, and one of the successful program it is too. And today's topic is something interesting. I'm very happy. Even Nanda sir covered a couple of points and Vishwaranjan sir covered almost 5 bullet points. Probably I might be overlapping the point what he said because he spoke for 5 minutes. Maybe my commitment is 90 minutes. So I'm going to extend whatever he said. Probably I may not know what I'm going to do in addition to that. And in fact, I have done almost graded 11 plus PhDs, authored more than 10 textbooks. And whenever we write a book, we realize something happening in the corporate because I do more with MDP training and consulting. Somehow we realized how the today business were changed. I'm sure you must be seeing in your profile. Is it the same business what we are in 20 years before? If you ask yourself, you can able to observe it. What business are we in? Is it a business the same what we have done? or whether the process has changed, or the process has changed, or everybody talk about creativity and innovation. Is it playing a vital role? And because today every business, if you see the technology, if you see that Schumpeter theory of innovation, he has done 300 years business history, how the businesses emerged. Earlier, the life of the business almost 80 years to 60 years. But if you see the late 90s, when the the technology came in the late 90s in the second half. But if you see the initially petroleum and petrol products, because 18th century and all, if you see the main businesses purely depends upon steam engine, shipping, all trading used to be there in the businesses. But once if the petroleum was invented during that time, aggressively started using, aviation became aggressive. When Wright brothers invented, that is a major trend happened in the business. World is became shrinking. World has become small. After that, the late 90s, electronics businesses started growing very aggressive. Electricals and electronics. And at that time, the televisions, radios were aggressively used in the early 1960s. But if you see the real businesses happen after 1997, maybe that business where we found WWW, World Wide Web. When technology came, the entire businesses has changed. The technology, digitization. And today, if we talk about whichever the top businesses there in the global businesses, probably those businesses were struggling in the early 90s. And today, if we see top world-class companies, the conventional companies were today struggling to survive, many of the companies. And today, businesses became virtual. And you can see, I'm not talking about technology and digitization. You can see that how the creativity, innovation changed the business processes. For example, if we talk about, I'm happy that Nanda sir also covered the topic on how data has become a vital role, how data has replaced the businesses, right? Today, if we talk about how the companies were changing their business model. In fact, this is the subject what I teach in a couple of IIMs, how to reinvent your business model. Is it necessary to reinvent your businesses? And you can see any one industry, have you ever seen, is there any changes not happen? Change is the only thing remain constant, inevitable, and always change happening in every businesses. And we are in a businesses where complete change is happening in most of the times, the era where we are in. But in the change, what happened, the processes are changing. Because of the creativity part, the new pedagogies are emerging. Let's see a couple of examples, what we talk about, the impact of digitization in the businesses and how to reinvent your businesses model. And is it necessary if we talk about, sorry, one second. Yeah, what we talk about, the consumer behavior. Is it the same thing what we are in, what we have seen in the earlier businesses? As we know, as a chartered accountant, if we ask you the question, value for money and value for money for value, both are same or different? Yeah, how consumer behavior is changed. Is it the same consumer behavior which we talk about generation X, Y? Because there are Gen X customer. Today we talk about millennials. Today the customers are in the segment of, you can see most of the new segments were emerging, like the customer, what we talk about, both the people are working, they don't have a kids, right? And if they have a kids, you can see the different buying pattern. And today we talk about double income, no kids. That's what we call DINGs, DWINGs. The new segments were emerging. If we talk about the earlier time changing behavior, I'm sure you must be realizing it. If I talk about in the early 80s or 90s, ask yourself, how many people are having take any segment, right? Any segment. For example, take an apparel or automobile. How many products you have as a customer? How many product options available to you? If we talk about in the 80s, if you want to buy a branded segment apparel, have you seen how many people are using the branded segment as such? Within branded segment, how many players were in the market? I'm talking about early 80s and 90s. But if you talk about today's time, you ask yourself how many branded segments are available to the customer within that apparel. And what was the earlier days? Earlier days, we had a plenty of time. Plenty of time. and the brand available to us, the choices are very limited. And today's scenario, it's quite reverse, right? Today, what's happening is we have a limited time. Earlier, we had a plenty of time, but today, what's happening is we have a limited of time. Because of that, what's happening is there are multiple brands choices available to us. If we talk about an early 80, if you want to buy apparel, maybe Raymond's, maybe Ciara, only Vimal, maybe Park Avenue. You don't find any other brands, bigger brands that also reaches to only one certain segments. But today, if we talk about how many brands are available to us, along with these 4 brands, whatever I said, you ask yourself, so that you will come to know, is it the same? No, today I'm going for party wear. The segments were different. Today I'm using for formal wear. It's absolutely different. Male is different, female is different, kids is having different. And today, this is what happening in all the products. Check with the example, how many television channels we had. Probably country like India, Doordarshan to today, how many television channels we have, the number of options. And how many news television channels available today. And in fact, if I tell you, you will get surprised to know. Any idea how many newspapers we have today? In all regional language, whether daily or weekly, whatever you call it. India has more than 1 lakh newspaper registered. Can you believe the penetration of the papers available to us? And today, what's happening is, today we are moving towards scarcity to surplus economy. Everywhere it is happening. Whether you can call Uberization, I'll come to the point later. The point, just we'll talk about today what's happening. At the inconvenient truth is, today we have a limited time. But if we talk about always, there is a 24 hours. But now you see how much we are spending a time, where we spend, how much money is going to spend on the time, and what type of medium or exchange are we using it, what type of instruments are we using it. You ask yourself, you will come to know exactly what I'm going to interacting with that. And today what's happening is, in fact, I really don't know how many people are attending in online. Is there any possibility to come to know how many people are watching in online? So that I will also check it out in YouTube or Facebook. We'll come to know exactly. As that some more interactive sessions, I'll get a message in text message. Probably when you ask the questions, we can also check it out. How many people are attending in online, right? I think there is no response, so I'll proceed, right? And the same thing today, if we talk about, when we talk about apparel as a segment, now you tell me how many shampoos have we come across? I still remember in 80s and 90s, the shampoo which is available to us, maybe one of the largest selling brand is Clinic Plus. Same thing if we talk about Dove. And maybe only 1-2 brands, Head and Shoulder. You don't find any other brand. But today, if we talk about the number of shampoo available to the customer, see how micro level the companies has gone to that. Earlier days shampoo, but today conditioner. See that how we are evolving as a customer, the new products were emerging. And again, today, if we go to buy a shampoo, today people doesn't buy just for a shampoo. Please understand that. Today, Head and Shoulder, even though it is a shampoo, they give solutions for dandruff. Same thing today, if we talk about any shampoo, whether it's a Garnier or L'Oreal or Tresemme or Lakme or Dove, you can go to almost 90 plus brands available, starting from regional brand to national brand to international brands. And today, actually, they are not gone into, they are absolutely those companies invested time to gone into micro level, because today's customer doesn't have a time to browse all this stuff. They want directly the shampoo, whether it's hair fall or dandruff or hair strengthening or hand straightening or hair breaking. If you see 10 advertisements, my request is download 10 advertisements of top 10 brands. See their communication, see the product, what they are doing it. Because why I'm saying at this point, today's changing business scenario, the emerging business trends, the conventional 4 Ps need to be reinvented. Normally, when I say 4 Ps, means product, price, place, promotion. Correct? These are all called marketing mix also. And today, how the 4 Ps are reinvented? Today, don't talk about product. Today, the market is all about solution. Instead of product, give solution to the customer. They don't want just a product. That's what I said, right? Today, shampoo, none of the customer doesn't like. Thus, the shampoo will give. In fact, very interesting. Today, if we talk about how business was emerged, maybe I'll come to that later, the part. And today, what's happening? customer doesn't want just a product. They want the product enabled with the technology. See that MG Motors, the success of the MG brand, why it has become one of the reasons for successful MG is internet inside. Now you come to know the story, why I'm insisting this point. You are buying a car. Why do you require internet inside your car? Internet is absolutely different product. But today what's happening is, if you see the globally, all the products are enabled with the technology. It is not only happening in automobile. Even if you buy a tractor, today tractor will have a hardware component, software component, technology enabled connectivity component. See the three value addition has done to the product, right? Hardware, software, and connectivity. When I say connectivity, the tractor should have a Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, infrared. Now you will tell me, if you are a farmer, why do you require this stuff? Is it really required as a customer? Same thing, if you want to sell a car, sell a car. Why do you require internet inside that? Because today, wherever you go, Google enabled map to route the customers, and the vehicle will have the artificial intelligence. Today, it is happening in each and every segment. Trust me, Ralph Lauren launched a brand. Ralph Lauren's apparel brand. They launched an apparel which is technology enabled shirt. They have a chip inside the shirt. So that shirt, whenever we wear, that enable the technology will enable you to know your BMI, your BP, pressure, and that shirt have a connectivity component with your mobile or your smartwatch. If something happened, this thing will communicate to your near and dear. Now Ralph Lauren is apparel manufacturer. Why they are going into the technology? If you are a tractor company, tomorrow the tractor should have hardware, software, connectivity component, Bluetooth, infrared, everything. Why? Because if the farmer buys the tractor, they don't want just a tractor. The tractor should have the quality of testing the soil. The tractor should know the seed optimization. The tractor should be able to predict the weather. And the tractor should have a technology. It could be able to predict that maximum productivity of the agriculture. Now, is it a core competence of the company? If the company doesn't, may not, but they have to move, evolve that. That is what the crisp of today's technology, what we talk about. Today, every product should have technology component into this. If you just offer a product, customer may not like it. This is applicable to automobile, to apparel, to any product, whatever we talk about, we should try to go beyond your pricing product. Because when you talk about a product, core expected augment. But today, customer expect more than that. They don't want a just basic or core product. I don't want a shampoo. My shampoo should have give the solution for dandruff-free, right? Like that. So today, customer wants not a product, they want solution. The solution can be done with the help of technology better, right? That is what my intention to talk about. When you talk about price, don't talk about price today, because customers are today doesn't want expecting anything on the price. They talk about what is the value the product is going to offer, right? The value proposition. And we also talk about place. Don't talk about place. Today, customer want about the accessibility, how they can able to get the access of the product. And finally, promotion, we talk about educating the customer, right? That's what I said when you talk about the products. Today, customers doesn't have a more time. They have a multiple choices. And what's happening is completely scenarios changing, right? And today what we are doing it, few product to multiple product. And customers, if we talk about wide variety of choices, and customers are today living with a less number of time, more number of choices. And today, if we talk about hundreds of available choices are became more, the time is gone reduced. That is what today we find. Because of that, our lifestyle is changing. Our buying pattern is changing. Our economic buying patterns are completely changed because of the basic things of the limited time, right? That's why today we spend most of, everybody had only 24 hours, whether 20 years before, 1,000 years before, or till today. But you can see how the customers are spending their time, how they are going to changing the era of remarkable products, right? And today also 24 hours. But what's happening it? And today the business scenario is changing it. For an example, the world-class companies became struggling today. I still remember, probably we are all Indian customers. Out of 12 Indian customers, 11 customers used to use the one of the finest product called Nokia. Correct? Nokia. I'm sure whoever uses today's mobile, their first mobile is Nokia. Today you might be using Apple or Samsung or any other Chinese brand. But when we started our initial days, our first mobile is Nokia. What made Nokia to become bankrupt? Almost the brand is dead, right? And what's happening it? In fact, I still remember when Forbes magazine in 2007, they made a cover story. Forbes, Nokia, 1 billion customer. Can anyone able to catch the brand? Because one of the world largest selling brand. But if we talk about in 2012, the world leader bought by Microsoft. That Nokia was taken over by Microsoft and the brand literally struggled, especially country like India. And there is a Stephen Elop, is the CEO of the Nokia. They asked why Nokia couldn't able to do well, even though it was one of the world's largest selling brand. In fact, he gave one interesting answer. You can able to see that we don't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost. Why they lost, right? If we talk about what is the reason why they lost, and world-class brand, why they lost. Same thing happened with Kodak. Same thing happened with world-class companies. Today, if we talk about printing businesses, good publishing houses are struggling there to do business, right? And I still remember same thing in India has happened. Many examples I'll quote later. Same thing happened with Jim Case, who was the CEO of Blockbuster. I'm sure Blockbuster is in 2000 one of the finest brand in the early, right? And in fact, they asked that Blockbuster, that the CEO, what do you think that entry of Netflix? Netflix just beginning that time, right? They just started the market in early 2000, and they used to offer the movie solutions through web and through internet. And Blockbuster said, we don't treat them as a competitor. That's a literally said. When we same thing happened with BlackBerry also, research in motion, right? And they never treated Android as a mobile. Same thing happened with Nokia Symbian OS also, right? And Netflix, when they asked Jim Keynes, they never treated as a competitor. But you know the history, right? Blockbuster became a bankrupt, and today Netflix valued. In fact, very interesting. I'm sure you might be knowing it, right? And during 2003 to 5, it took almost to acquire a 1 million customer. Netflix took 3 years. To acquire a 1 million customer, Netflix took 3 years. Post-COVID, Zoom took it in 3 months. Facebook took it in 2.5 years. And Airbnb took it 2.5 years. But today, if we talk about the new technology, ChatGPT, right? GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. That is called ChatGPT. They acquired 1 million customer in just 5 days. See the speed, what this business has happened just for, right? Just they acquired more than 1 million customer in 5 days. This is what we talk about, right? Today, Blockbuster became bankrupt and Netflix valued one of the highest valued brand, and the same thing applicable even to Apple. Apple in the year 1998 is a verge of bankrupt, right? What made Apple to become world-class brand? Why this brand could able to do outstandingly well if we talk about one of the world-class brand today is valued close to 280 billion, right? Almost it is reaching close to 3 trillion. One of the biggest company in the world. What made Apple to do transform to become an emerging innovative product in the century? How this company could able to become a world-class brand? Because this company since day one onwards created the world-class ecosystem. They believed on creativity and innovation, and the product as very unique in nature, right? For an example, in 1998, when they created iMac computers, entire world used to have 3 components in the computers, right? The computer means normally it has 3 components. When I say 3 components, monitor, keyboard, and CPU. But Apple, what they did, they made it 3 into 2 components. They built inbuilt CPU in the monitor and keyboard. What are the creativity they have done? Every computer used to come in the earlier days either in a steel box, the CPU, and it used to come in white color or in black color. But Apple made that transparent white plastic body so that they can able to see the computer become a fashion accessory. The way they made a design aerodynamic that makes the product something very unique in nature. The company could able to create something different. Entire world is using a Microsoft product. This company said, let's use our own platform of the Unix, which is available in the domain. See that how the company could able to create, differentiate from the competition by standing unique, right? And today that's what every company try to wanted to be unique in the market. That we'll discuss it later, the part, right? And you see that how Apple has done in the early 2000. I still remember when Apple launched an iPod, correct? iPod, intellectual portable over disk. In the year when they launched 2000, it is one of the world largest selling product. Well, in the Apple domain portfolio, highest selling segment too. In the year 2000, the Apple was valued to 150 plus billion business valued. Majority sales came through iPod. What is iPod? Intellectual portable over disk. But when you talk about Apple, they are not first mover. That is something very interesting, right? Actually, in 1999 in US, there is a company called Rio and Kaba. There are two different products were launched. One of the company called Blue Diamond Technologies, and the products miserably failed. When Apple launched similar like a product like iPod, it became world-class success. Any idea why iPod became success? When I say iPod, intellectual portable over disk. What made iPod to become successful brand? Because they created wonderful ecosystem bundled with hardware and software. It is not just a product. The product is just maybe a small in nature, and it could able to store 1500 songs. In fact, when they initially launched, iPod was audio, then they also launched iPod with video enabled. What they created ecosystem, they created a wonderful hardware and software component. Along with the ecosystem, they tied up, convinced their supply chain, their vendors, like a music, iTunes music. You can download the song, pay per click. They convinced their vendor, and they could able to create a finest ecosystem. They could able to create a world-class product, and they could able to convince it. You don't need to buy entire audio system of when that time when you talk about Sony or BMG, you'll have to buy entire CD or tape record audio cassettes, 12 to 15 songs. But they said no, whichever song you require, you can download, pay per song. See that concept, what it is emerged. It is something like Gillette, right? Shaving blade and the eraser concept. Probably you might be knowing it, how earlier days, blade and the razor, right? Fixed and variable expenses. Same concept similarly used in here. You can buy once this iPod, download the song, whichever you like, and the quality, that innovation, smaller in size, created the market. Apple became world-class product, one of the iPod. Same thing they carry forward in iPad. What is iPad? iPad is another product. People love to use it because most of the time when you buy a computer, they realized this, most of the college kids using their computer for watching movie and songs. Why do you require carry a heavy laptop or computer for that? They created iPod. Same thing, similar when you buy a laptop, we use most of the times, people use surfing internet, correct? For surfing internet, why do you require a laptop? Let use it iPad. See the creativity part, but you look, all the products look like different, whether it is iMac or iPod or iPad or iPhone or iWatch or today we got that right, AirPod, but all the products use a similar platform. That is what very uniqueness what we talk about. And they use all the same memory card into 10 different products. That is what we call economies of scale, correct? When you do purchasing a business at a higher volume, the scale will happen. That economies of scope, similar product used in 10 different products, right? That same product used in 10 different products became economies of scope, right? And today what we talk about, just check it out. What Uberization? Today's Uberization became a jargon, right? Uberization. Today we talk about Airbnb, right? All the products. Earlier days doing a business means we require a capital expenditure. Let's put hypothetically, if you want to do business of hotel, hospitality, people do physical investments. People invest on properties. People do investment on that. But today what's happening is zero inventory mode. Everything became virtual. And today, Ola, Airbnb, Oyo Rooms, Ritesh Agarwal manages more than 1.5 lakh room keys, but none of the hotel belongs to him. And today, customers also accepting it. And today, if you talk about Tata, also has the Ginger Hotel. To come up with 40 rooms, probably they must be investing 2 to 3 years to come up with a physical operation, identifying property, recruitment, training, commercialization. The entire processes will take at least 2 to 3 years if they come up with 40 rooms. But today that 40 rooms acquired by Oyo rooms or Airbnb on one day. See the speed, what we talk about. End of the day, if we talk about productivity and how it is happening in digital age, correct? In the productivity earlier days something happened with X, we say number of people. If we increase the manpower, it will become a 2x. When you use animals, it became 10x. When you use machine, maybe we can say 100x or 1000x. But today, if we talk about digital information X, that reach has become a lakh. That is what we talk about speed. So because of that, what's happening in aggregators model and all, the world-class companies became Motorola, right? Motorola, there is a company, Nokia, Kodak, all those brands today became irrelevant. And the brand which is born yesterday, whether it's Google, Facebook, Airbnb, right? MI, Instagram, Facebook, all the brands became world-class brands. And the beauty, all the brands, are you paying any money? Everything became free and they become a world-class brand. Just think it over how this brand would able to do something different. What is the commonality of these brands? How these brands could able to emerge at something different. And when you talk about these brands, how they could able to leverage it, correct? Then you can talk about the company, right? Automobile brands. Today, India is one of the world's largest automobile market, correct? Whether it's a two-wheeler or four-wheeler, we are always ranked top 5 in the world. And I still remember once upon a time, if you want to buy automobile, especially in a four-wheeler, how many brands do you have an option? Either you want to buy a one vehicle, it's an Ambassador. Max to max, customer will get an option from the General Motors, Hindustan Motors. The option is Kantasa. Otherwise, we'll have another option, Standard Motors, maybe the brand like Premier Badmini, Premier Automobiles, correct? Can you name any brands other than this if you want to buy any automobile four-wheeler brand in early 80s or 70s before Maruti enters? Suzuki. And today, after the penetration, tell me how many automobile brand we have within the small car. Today, if you want to buy a small car, the price ranges between, right, maybe 2 to 3 lakhs rupees price segment. It goes up to 40 lakhs. Within that small car, more than 30 to 40 brands options available to us of different variants. And that's what we talk about today, how automobile as a brand emerged, correct? And how this company like a Bajaj, right? Bajaj, one of the very premium brand in the scooters. And today scooter as the segment himself is dead, right? How this company evolved, today Bajaj moved into motorcycle, one of the world's largest selling automobile brand, especially in sports. See that how the company evolves over a time. That's what we talk about. Today, every company need to change themselves. If they don't change, that company become irrelevant. How many people do you remember the brands of television brands, of Indian brands in 80s? There is a brand, Dynora, Soliday, ECTV, Murphy, Thomson. There is a brand called Keltron, Pelican, Optron. Hopefully, these are all the brands I'm sure you must be hearing after a long break. What happened to those brands? And today, how many brands could be able to survive in front of the competition? And today, how many brands survived? How many brands became a really global brand? Why those brands became dead? Same thing applicable to automobile Indian brands like Standard Motors, Hindustan Motors, right? Or even Premier. What happened to those brands? Why those brands became dead? Have you ever thought of it? What will be the reason? One of the world, India's largest selling brands, all brands almost became irrespective of age, their size, their reputation, the brand equity. Why these brands became challenging to survive? Is there any guarantee whichever brand survived in yesterday, today they will do better? Or whichever brand is doing commendably good today, will it be surviving for tomorrow? Will it be surviving for tomorrow? Anybody in this in the audience, can you able to share your views? how confident you are this brand will survive. Because today we are in an era, literally the disruption. That's what we talk about, right? Disruption. Whether how disruption happened. And interestingly, it's very interesting. Sony, when Sony entered Walkman, it killed most of the automobile brand, correct? When Sony entered with the Walkman, it disrupted the electronics industry. And today what's happening is digital music came. What happened to the Sony as a brand? That's why today what's happening is Sony was once upon a time OEM, original equipment manufacturer, finest audio products to leading automobile brands. Sony, one of the world largest selling brand. They used to supply original equipment manufacturers, OEM products, to the global automobile brands. But do you know, today Sony is getting into their own automobile of EV vehicles, and today entering into the EV market. And a few decades before, Tata was struggling in the market. When Dr. Chandrasekharan took over the company is an absolutely complete face over, lift the product from the existing portfolio of the brands. And today, Tata Motors, I can give hundreds of Indian examples. Very interesting if we talk about within automobile, India's top 5 global brands. India has almost all the global brands available in automobile market. But India's top 5 brands in automobile, they are not global brands. Again, I'll repeat what I said. India has all top 5 global brands available are Indian market. But if we talk about India's top 5 selling brands are not global brands. But what makes to business current relevant to India to do business? If you want to stay relevant, country like India, what should be your business options? Correct? And if you want to stay relevant, what are the things need to be done? Take an example. Why Harley Davidson failed in India? Why Citibank struggles in India? What happened to Ford Motors? What happened to General Motors? But end of the day, if we talk about Harley Davidson struggled to do business in India, but over and above, the company which find difficult to sell even 4 bullets in a day in early, late 90s and early 2000. Do you remember which brand I'm talking about? Royal Enfield Motors Limited, correct? This company had a 3 factory in Chennai. 3 factory in Chennai. And when during that time, late 90s, Japanese vehicle used to penetrate to Indian market. All Indian brands will have a collaboration with Japanese brand, like TVS Motors, right? TVS Sundaram Iyengar. TVS brand had a tie-up with collaboration with Suzuki. They used to launch a TVS Suzuki. Same thing with Kawasaki, association with Bajaj. Hero, collaborative alliances with Honda. All the brands flooded with Indian road in the early 90s. India moved towards moped to scooter rides to motorcycle. India is a country of motorcycle in early 90s. People fond of the Japanese brand, easy, more mileage, less weight, and low maintenance. Correct? And Enfield couldn't able to deliver all these deliverables what it was expected. That time the company was literally verge of closing. They shut down all the plants except Chennai plant. Right? That brand was taken over by Eicher Group. Right? Eicher Group. It's a classic live case. In fact, whatever example today I must be quoting it, all the things are there in my strategy book, what we talk about, right? In fact, in my 10 books, somewhere here and there, I used to quote these examples. And the same example, we'll try to quote it in some other way too. And when Royal Enfield Motors, they couldn't be able to survive. When it was taken over by Eicher Motors, they had an intention to keep the vehicle keep the plant survival for 3 months. If they could able to sell 3 bullets in a day, they kept a target to sell 100 bullets. That's it. They said, if I could able to sell 100 bullets in 3 months, I'll keep the plant alive. Siddharth Lal, the promoter, right? That the person success behind the Royal Enfield Motors. And if I tell you are all chartered accountant people, it might be interesting to know. In early 2000, instead of buying a bullet, if you could have invested the 50,000 rupees bullet shares, right? Instead of buying a bullet, that 500cc, if you could have invested that Royal Enfield Motors share, today you might be the owner of Rolls Royce. That 50,000 might be turned into 3.5 to 4 crores. What made Royal Enfield to become world-class brand? Why Harley Davidson struggles? Today, Royal Enfield Motors penetrated into Vietnam, African countries, European market. Recently, they launched even in their US market. And the success ratio became more and more. Royal Enfield could able to survive better. What could be the reason how this brand could able to deliver it? Correct? And see, one side we talk about technology, another side we also talk about how we can able to stay relevant to the business. That is what I'm going to talk about. Entire thing, one side we talk about digitization or technology. Simultaneously, what we talk about, how to make business stay relevant. Correct? Because technology completely replacing it. No doubt about it. And today what's happening it, if we talk about other classic example, right? The products. Take an example. How the average lifespan is reduced to these businesses. Correct? What happening with products like Walmart? The world-class brand when they entered to Indian market. Why Walmart failed? Literally in India, they couldn't able to success, right? Any reason why? The world-class brand. And finally, you know, if you go to the Google and search it out, they took the Flipkart brand for almost close to 15 plus billion. What could be the reason? And today, what's happening is, if we talk about everything today, if we talk about what could be the reason, and today, Big Basket, which was taken over by Tata's, they also taken partly with that. And today, what's happening is complete brick and mortar to click and mortar to become omni-channel. In fact, that's what I always used to say that if you are a chartered accountant, you must be dealing with the multiple industries, multiple nature of the businesses. Can you name any one industry where you find, sir, there is no change happened, still we are staying relevant with what we have done maybe 30, 40 years before? Here I find little bit challenging because the lectures became monotonous. I'm not able to make it interactive as much. I really don't know. I'm going to make relevant to these examples. Normally in the sessions, it should be interactive. Here I find something like, one-way communication. Probably if I have something, Facebook or something, I don't know how many questions, if you have anything, we can able to have a more interactive so that I can able to clarify your thoughts on the perspectives, whatever you have it. Do you have any questions if you want to make interactive? Is it possibility to get any questions? If it is making live, can you share the link?
Dr. Iyer, there is one question till now.
Yes, sir. Because
And
I'm not finding any questions.
Yes.
Thank
This
you.
is asked by Mr. Rajesh Reddy. And he has asked, with innovation happening so fast and quick, so many fronts, nearly all business employ heavily tech-based business models. Does everyone need to learn some technology like AI, programming, applications, etc., to stay relevant in this corporate world?
So that's what the fantastic question asked by them. Is it AI is all about the future? For example, still I talk about you also talk about the metaverse, digitization, technology, artificial intelligence. I was there in the multiple conferences. If we want to make, I'll tell you about in our own field, education. Metaverse can bring you the live to the classroom. But if we want to teach to the school kids how apple remain or how lemon, that entire tree looks, I can bring it that experience through technology and metaverse into the classroom, phenomenally good. But when I can able to show physically outside my campus in the same tree, that gives more learning to us. Technology definitely requires, there is no second thought about it. Technology, very interesting question which was asked by them. And you have extreme examples from both the directions, sir. For example, if we talk about IBM, the person who invented the computer, correct? The person who has created a market for the IBM, why they exited from the core business? That is a desktop business. Any idea? And they sold the brand to Chinese brand called Lenovo, right? They exited from the core business. Any idea why IBM, company like IBM, exiting from the core business? How this company became agile in nature? Agile, and we talk about today, anybody in the bank, or if you are a chartered accountant in the banking, can you be able to do banking without IBM? Can we do business without retail? Can we do business analytics? And can we do business Amazon? You take any businesses today which is emerging, IBM made the business stay relevant. Along with them, there are other computers. What happened to those companies? Along with IBM, there are many companies used to sell computers, right? Many computer brand like HP, Compaq, Dell, HCL, HP. What about those brands? And where IBM transformed today? Today they are in the business of analytics. Dr. Watson, they are into the business of medical. They are in the business of blockchain. They are in the business of artificial intelligence. Today, this company completely transformed. Technology definitely requires it. But how are you going to use the technology to stay relevant? Technology, nobody could able to stop it. But everybody talk about Dr. Watson. Check it out on Google. What is Watson is all about? It talk about complete predictory. It replaces the humans. But nobody, in fact, we had 3 conferences recently about ChatGPT. You can ask anything, ChatGPT gives. If you go to Google and type ChatGPT, it gives better than Google. But where ChatGPT generates the information? If somebody creates the creativity, innovation, the original content, those content can be extracted by ChatGPT, right? Thus, ChatGPT creates on its phone. Probably it collects all the source of information and present it. Correct? Do you think ChatGPT will replace entire Indian businesses? Then who will create the original content? Now I'm typing the same thing in ChatGPT. Whatever topic you talk about, you can ask same ChatGPT what are the challenges you have. It also gives the same information. Today there is Genie, ChatGPT, Microsoft. There are multiple players enters into this. But today, if we talk about technology makes digital transformation, I'll give another example. Recently, I had trained almost 1,200 bankers. 1,200 bankers. I'm sure you must be knowing it. If I ask you, I don't know how many people are there in the online. Honestly, I don't know. How many people been to your branch? Everybody might have bank account. Invariably. I'm asking genuinely, how many people been to your branch more than 3 times in last 3 months? If we ask you this question in front of 500 people, my experience, hardly 3-4 people raise their hands. Even last 1 month, how many people been to your branch 3 times? Now the question comes. What is my question? If I ask you the power, the strength of the bank, maybe 20 years before, if I ask you what is the strength of the bank, example, what people say, sir, we have 10,000 branches. Every 10,000 branch will have one ATM and plus other location. They will say 12,000 ATMs, 50,000 employees. Example, hypothetical. If I say this answer to today's business, is it relevant? If you say I have 12,000 branches, 50,000 employees, 12,000 ATMs, is it a strength or weakness? Because your ATM machine, today I'm asking this question always every time. Now, because of the 2,000 rupees remonetization, how many people have cash in your packet above 5,000 rupees? I'm asking this question in front of middle class people at a 5-star hotel. Trust me, sir, nobody carries cash. Everything became digital. Now you tell me the reason why should I go to the bank? What was bank earlier days means there is a thumb rule, right? In fact, when I asked this question, many banks also said the same thing. Sir, earlier when we started my banking career profession, we have a 20 plus people working in branch. My branch size is almost 1,200 square feet. My bank will have a 2 cash counter, 1 manager, 1 accountant, 4 people, almost 8 to 10 people. The branch will have a class 4 with a complete setup. Now you tell me, is it the same structure requires if you want to have a branch? The conventional, what we said. Now, you will find all the nationalized banks will have a crowd during first week because of PF pension. Government already stopped it 2005 later. Now, tell me genuinely, have you ever find any crowded customers in the any banks? You can ask any youngsters, nobody goes to the bank at all. But what will be the future then? What is the future of bank? What is the future of banking? But if you ask the second question, we are using more and more and more about frequency of banking became more. But the physical bank, will it be the future of the bank? If it is the future, Is it required with the 12 people or 15 people with 1200 square feet? Or whether the bank can be reinvented with 300 square feet? Instead of one branch, we'll have a 10 branch. Or the conventional thing will work. Do you have a level 1 to level 7 employees? Bank means this would be the structure. Interest rates are going down. Then you will ask the question, sir, why are you talking about this? I'm not comparing bank with any other industries. I'm talking about how as a behavior we have changed. ATM, it's become a liability. No more resistance. People are not going to either deposit cash or withdraw the cash. Today we are moving towards cashless economy. Everything became online. You know that how NPCI, go to the website, you will come to know. National Payment Corporation, they created that entire payment gateway through online. How many apps, how much you are? If I ask you how much amount you are keeping in your mobile, this 6.5 inches, your 6.5 inches mobile replace the 1200 square feet businesses. That is an inconvenient truth. The 1200 square feet completely replaced. Not only the 6.5 inch replaced your banking, sir, it also replaced the conventional physical retail also. Today you see what is the business happening in Amazon, Flipkart, how these people, retailers could able to do. I'm talking about the every industry. See the change happening with that. Starting from railway ticketing to airline ticketing, to see how the business transformation happening. Whether we like or not, the digital transformation, what will happen, it has some advantage, right? It has certain advantage. We have to accept. What are the advantages? Number one, technology, it streamlined the processes. It streamlined the processes, increase the efficiency. Then you will ask the question, sir, how do you say that increase the efficiency? I still remember during the COVID, before COVID, there is a company called Ant Group. I hope you must be come across Ant Group. It is a part of Alibaba. Alibaba started an Ant Group. And today what's happening it within 3 years, that Ant Group, the case study is written in Harvard also. It is not, whatever example today I quoted, if you go to Harvard website, you will find all the cases are written on. These are the facts. Ant Group today could able to reach 10 times higher than the volume of any US banks. Within 3 years, they could able to reach that much customer size and volume. And very interesting, using 1/10 of the employees. 1/10 of the employees. Less number of people, high productivity. How they could able to achieve? In fact, I still remember in India, most of the fintech companies also emerged, which is approved by RBI. I'm sure you are all chartered accountants, you must be come across it, right? There is a peer-to-peer lending, P2B lending. Have you heard it? What the concept is P2B? And today what they are doing, peer-to-peer lending approved by RBI. There are hundreds of companies available. They give loan to the individuals as well as MSME. The entire transaction is done in less than a minute. If you want a loan, less than 10 minutes, they'll dispose it. And one side they are bringing investors, another side they are connecting the person who look for the loan, and there is a higher interest rate, RBI approved. I don't want to name the companies who are there in the peer-to-peer lending because I don't want to promote any brand. I'm talking about how technology, because as an investor, I also have a username, password. I know where is my money parked, how much people took the money, what is my return on investment, what is the interest. Post-tax, I'm getting 13 to 14% return last 3 years. Trust me. Which is higher than the bank. How this bank would able to guys do better than bank? Because their operating cost is very less. Because this business model makes them to make lowest business operating cost. The way Muthoot Finance does. They are also in the gold loan. Bank also do gold loan. But Muthoot Finance operating model is cheaper when you compare with nationalized bank. Same thing Cholamandalam do financing. Cheaper than the nationalized bank. Because their business model allows them to have a flexibility. Their HR, their policies, the size of the nature of the business, and increasing the efficiency of the technology. They will have a robust technology to do, and they can also help to improve the customer experiences. Then what is happening at this point? I always talk most of the conferences. That's my passionate topic. Very interesting topic is remote work. You can write it down, remote work. What is remote work? Because of the technology, with the help of the technology. In fact, this topic I can talk for normally 2 hours in most of the conferences. With the help of technology, your location became irrelevant. In fact, this is not a possible 30, 40 years before. For an example, if you want to have a finest movie to be produced, if you want to produce a world-class movie, trust me, world number one is Hollywood. If you go to Hollywood, you can create a world-class movie. Correct? Same thing, if you want to buy a best automobile brand in the world, people say, go to Detroit. Even if you want to have a good coffee, people say Georgia can give best coffee. Even if you want to taste a vodka, people say Russian vodka is the best. If you want to buy a leather products, people say Italy. If you want to buy a best quality automobile, people say Germany. So the list keep on goes, right? Watches to segments to perfume to vodka to the list keep on going it. It's a very healthy, very lengthy list. Tell me, is it the story today? Even I still remember, if you want to buy a best mutual funds, people suggest to go to Boston. Tell me, country like India, are you going to Boston to buy mutual funds? The number of produced in India more than anywhere in the world because of our regional language. Correct? In India, we don't have Hollywood. In fact, even Hollywood movie comes to India. I'll put other way. Even Hollywood movie comes to India, that movie should be translated to Bollywood, Dollywood, Sandalwood, Gollywood, Bhojpuri films, Odia film, Bhojpuri or Marathi. If they don't convert that languages into regional language, if they don't customize, they fail. So what I'm making this very important point, remote work. Technology makes, I don't need to go to produce Hollywood to produce a movie. I don't need to go to Georgia to buy a coffee bean. I don't need to go to Italy to buy automobile brand. So what's happening at earlier days, the jargon, I still remember, always people used to say, think global, act local. That is a jargon. Think global, act local. That is a jargon which is used. But today, the jargon is act local, we can compete global. With the help of technology, I still remember recently I met that Zoho, right? Mr. Sridhar Vembuji, right? Today, the Zoho products became one of the largest widely accepted product, and sitting at Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu would able to give solutions to the US markets. Today, as global customers are coming, they are not going to Canada and, or US to do business. They are sitting at a remote place in Tamil Nadu, Tirunelveli, not even in Chennai or Mumbai or Bangalore. Sitting at Tirunelveli, they could able to reach to the global market. Today, it is possible with the help of technology. Then you will ask the question, sir, what happened to that? See that where we are in the country like India, how we could able to do make remote work. When I say remote work means flexible work arrangements. And today world is became shrinking. And even you don't need to go to Swiss to buy watches. Swiss watches are made in China. Hong Kong is one of the world's biggest watch market. I launched 2 watches in India, so I know exactly how the industry works. You don't need to go to China to buy a watch even today. Sitting at Bhubaneswar, you can buy a watch at China, product will be dispersed, you can create a brand and you can make it to the global market. Today it is possible. Information flows everywhere. Even if you buy a product in an online market, you check it out, where the products are produced, where it is dispatched, how the product reaches. Only communication flows to everywhere, product flows. Sitting at anywhere, any corner, we can do business. That's what we talk about remote work, right? With the help of technology, makes location become irrelevant. The day with the help of technology, sitting at any corner, we can do. With the help of advanced technology and the need for work-life balance. And finally, today what we are talking about, sustainability. I can keep on discussing that examples which we are discussing it. If you could able to write it down. Any questions are there, sir? Biswaranjanji?
Dr. Iyengar, before you touch upon sustainability,
Yeah.
There are 2 interesting questions actually.
Yes.
And before
I'm
that,
very happy.
I
really thank you, sir, for 2 reasons. I never took lecture till today, monotonous lecture. If you ask where all the CS students who attended entire 6 hours, Here I find one-way communication. At least you are helping to make more
Yes,
interactive
yes,
because I'm not getting the online crowd. What
I'll,
is the
I'll
message?
do that because of that system of how we manage the
Correct.
webinars. There are two interesting questions. Yes, of course, as you said rightly, there are a lot of migrations are happening in the process. But I believe today, if I want to have a good dosa, I need to go to Sarvana Bhavan or Carnatic Cafe. So I cannot have it in Bhubaneswar. But one interesting question from Aditya from Bombay. He is asking that each AI in reference to ChatGPT, a blessing or curse to employees, and will it make their jobs easier or will it lead to job losses across the many sectors? How should this be perceived?
Sir, it's a two different. This is a question of, the knife sharpened with both the side edges. Why I said this? 100% AI will reduce the manpower, the scalability. But another beauty, another school of thoughts. If one job dies, another job will be created. You can see the past history. When the bank's computer was invented, bank is the only organization against to that. He said employability will lose, this will lose, we can't able to do anything. But today, without computer, none of the banks works today. If there is 10 minutes computer server is off, bank can't able to do business. It never killed the jobs. In fact, it created more jobs.
Correct.
But only thing, again, Schumpeter talk about the same example. Aditya, what the question you asked? Schumpeter theory of innovation talk about the same concept. Creativity and entrepreneurship will create a new type of job emerge in the market. The conventional jobs bound to die. I will tell you the example, you can understand better. Today, if anybody wanted to buy a four-wheeler, tell me genuinely, you go to the showroom and buy the car because of the salesman? Anybody in this crowd, can you say, sir, I purchased a car because of the impression of the salesman? They did a fabulous work. Nobody, right? Today, the death of salesmen in the automobile, because people know which car they want to buy. They buy through reviews, they buy through social media, they buy through references. Do you mean to say sales job is dead? But today, if you see, sales job has become much more aggressive in air hostess. If you fly an aircraft 35,000 above from the ground, this was not a profile of the air hostess few decades before. But today they know how to sell their burger or maybe that sandwiches for 300 rupees. They know how to manage the cash, online cash payment at 35,000 feet. New jobs were emerged. And have you ever thought the jobs called gig economics? Just write it down, gig employee, gig workers. And today it is one of the highest complement working in the industry. Temporary jobs were created, more and more jobs were created in supply chain logistics, Uberization. This is called itself is a new segment is emerged. And because of that, again, what will happen in the same education, technology, online retail, this technology is going to completely redefine the business model. In fact, I teach this subject in 3 IIMs. Sir, I do come to Sambalpur also. I am Sambalpur, I do come. So when I come, I'll call you.
Great. That's great. Always,
right?
Always, sir, it will be a pleasure.
Right? I'll tell you what is it, sir. Reliance, take one example, see how Reliance reinvented their business model. In fact, I have written a case which is available in the Google. Just to go to type and Reliance Facebook, you will come to know my case study published in Harvard Business School, IB, which is available in Harvard for only thing it is costing $9. Reliance is entered into telecommunication late entrant. He's not a first mover. Actually, Anil Ambani is the first mover. In fact, I still remember when Mukesh Ambani ji entered into the Reliance retail to Jio in the year 2000, late 15 or 16 early. That time, India was ranking in 135th in the global ranking. Data consumption. We ranked consumption ranking 135th. Within 4 years, India became #1 in the world. Today, if you say, sir, we are doing online banking, online shopping, everything became online, Netflix, Uber, Amazon, everything became online, credit goes to Reliance. He completely transformed the country progress. How they have done? Check it out in Google. We are not promoting any individuals. We talk about the numbers, we talk about the facts. The other side of Arabian Sea. Yesterday, I was taking some lecture. Same chartered accountant, the guy came from Oman, Surabjit Singh. He is a CFO at one of the Oman company. I asked him, sir, what is your data, 1 GB in Oman or Dubai? I will ask the same question here. You have a friends Dubai or Dubai. Have you ever made WhatsApp call to your friends in Dubai? Dubai is richest country, right? GDP, growth, everything. Have you ever made WhatsApp call to your friends in Dubai? Do you know the fact? In Dubai, WhatsApp is not allowed.
Correct.
They use booting. Now you the question, why they don't allow WhatsApp? Because 1 GB cost in Dubai close to 2000 INR, 100 dirhams. Even if it took 20 rupees. In India, how much we pay per GB data? If I tell you, you'll get shock of your life, less than 6 rupees. Where is 6 rupees? Where is 2000 rupees? Even though different country, different money, but still you can see the difference. Same thing in Oman. Even in US, it is costing $5 to $10. India has become lowest price in the data point in the world. After Reliance came, very interesting, huh? Very interesting. He made voice free. Earlier, when you do data mobile billing, most of the money goes on voice and data. There is two separate billing. In your billing, 1500, 2000 rupees minimum bill used to come. Majority spends on voice, right? Have you ever paid single rupee today voice? That's why what happening is Vodafone became a struggle. You know why Vodafone struggle? Because of Reliance. Why because of Reliance? Reliance made voice free. Only data, that also lowest. Then you will say, sir, how it is relevant to Vodafone? Because Vodafone means voice, data, phone. That's why the brand. Voice, data, phone. Vodafone. When Reliance came and said voice is free, that kills the complete business model, right? And when he entered the business, today, I still remember 2019, this company said this company will become a debt free. That's what the chairman, message to the AGM. Everybody in the world wondered, this brand given a free lowest price, how this became debt free in 1 year? COVID came, lockdown happened. Believe it or not, less than 45 days, this company diluted certain percent stake and collected close to 1.5 lakh crore. Facebook, they sold less than 10% stake for 45,000 crore. In fact, the company called Saudi Aramco, oil company, invested less than 1% stake for 6,500 crores. Now the question comes, why Reliance moved into, that's what I liked it, the Nandaji also spoke about beginning, right? Everything became data driven. Why it's called Jio? You know the Jio, why the brand Jio? Like a Vodafone means voice, data, phone. Why it's called Jio? Because if you write the word Jio and see the mirror impact, you will find the word oil. Oil mirror impact is Jio. Sutar sir, can you able to understand what I said?
Yes, yes.
You write the word oil and keep the mirror, you will find the Jio. You know why? The future of the oil is not oil, Jio, data. Data
Correct.
is the future. And Reliance moved into the later, it's not a first mover advantage. He entered the market at the later stage, but today has become a world largest selling 44 customer. In fact, last month they acquired almost close to 10 lakh customers. And after Jio taking IPL team, you can see on the picture on the television how many customers were watching. IPL brand value also increased. Not only Netflix, not only Amazon, not only Big Basket. Today, entire country is transformed on digital payments, e-payments, online economy. In fact, if we talk about everything, credit goes to this company. Why? They reinvented the businesses. This was not the core business or portfolio of Reliance.
Sir, on this, there is again an interesting question from Suresh from Bombay.
Yes, sir.
His point of view is like today's ecosystem, which is more or less influenced by social media and advertisements. All these are defining what people buy or what they see, how it works out.
Absolutely correct. The number of amount what we spend on the mobile today on an average, then today's customer. Not only today's customer, it is applicable, the representation happening with the seniors also. Today, mobile is replaced entire markets. It changes our lifestyle. It changes our buying patterns. And the people buy because of reference. Social media, digital marketing, SEO, SMOs become unavoidable in the businesses, especially today's scenario. And trust me, these are all going to be the future. Nobody, because the cost of operation comparatively, when you see the conventional marketing, right? The shelf life of the product, Here the effect is much more richer. Comparatively, if we talk about much more sustainable basis, and today if we talk about the volume and personalization and the virtual and augmented reality makes the convenient communication much more clarity. And digital marketing, social media, inconvenient truth, completely replacing it. And referral, voice of mouth, word of reference became more effective in this media. If we print a newspaper advertisement on weekends, I don't know whether you know, both the questions came from Mumbai. You know what is the cost of single advertisement Times of India on the first page? If I still remember, I went to my client to Times of India, always says this. When I went to Times of India, I want to give full page ad through my client. Times of India asked which first page you want. I got shocked. First page is first page. They said, no, sir. Times of India has first page, first to second page, first to third page, first to fourth page. Sometimes it goes up to 6-7 pages. Then there is a half page. And the cost of one advertisement on one Diwali or whatever, you have to go premium. It is waiting list, because you can't avoid Times of India do that. That's a big market, big readers. That one advertisement full page cost is close to 1 CR. Are you getting return on investment? People say yes. Yesterday, the same fellow CFO, one of the CFO of Tata Docomo from CA batch only attended the session. He said, sir, I was in Reliance. When Tata or other brands do customer acquisition for one customer is 830 rupees. The cost of customer acquisition, how much they spend to acquire one customer. When Reliance launched it, they acquired customer cost less than 130 rupees. Nobody could thought of it. That's what we say, reinvent your business model. How to reinvent your business? Is it necessary to reinvent your business? If you want to reinvent your business, Zerodha, Ola, you can see all the successful brands, they are all reinventing their businesses.
Sir, on this, though the change in technology is very inevitable and slowly we are getting synced to the change, there is a contrast, a thought process or question rather from V. Subramani Iyer from Cochin.
Yes, sir.
And his point of view is that industries without change like power, fertilizer, coal, etc. Can you explain how companies in these sectors have managed to survive without change, and who is paying for non-adoption of technology or stagnant growth?
I don't know about power and coal, sir. Especially I talk about the power, especially of the electric. You take my word. Time has to give answer. Immediately answer may not be there. Today, our culture is wherever you go out of the station, we suggest save energy, switch off the light, fan, AC or refrigerator, close and go, right? Because if we save energy, save power, all the jargons, wait for another 10 years. India will become surplus of electricity. People suggest, please use more and more energy, we'll give more discount. Because technology is replacing it, alternative sources are coming, people are using unconventional method to produce electricity. The big companies also try to reinvent them. For example, that's what I said. The conventional petrochemical companies today, they are investing more and more about alternative energies because petrol became irrelevant. Nobody could thought in the world steel industry will get a replacement from plastics. That's why, but that industry never dies. Please, Subramaniam sir, what the question is absolute relevant. Why I'm telling you this? There is a market for everyone. Petrol can't be replaced by any other product, but the market for petrol remained relevant. But it may not grow the way it was supposed to grow, what we expect, because completely the other sources, new product innovation, the alternative sources will replace your conventional main product. Petrol remains same. Maybe the market will grow same 20% speed, but remaining 80% will be converted to EV. Same thing happened with steel industry. That's why today, if you see what made Mittal to become world-class billionaire, check it out. He could able to buy out all the factories, whichever is coming for lower price, because all the companies were thought steel is going to replace the conventional businesses to increase the capacity, plant capacity, everything. But they realized, achanak se, Hindi mein, something we don't know how. Plastic came in the market and replaced the steel. But they can't replace 100%. Maybe it replaced 60 to 70%. Even if you see in the automobile, four-wheeler, the radiator cap used to come in steel, but today it is coming in plastics. Nobody could thought of it. So change is going to be happening in every industry, whether it's education, media. It is what visible in last 30 years. 3 to 4 decades, you can feel the differences. That's what my entire lecture talks about on the same direction. World-class companies became a question mark. And today, if we talk about the companies, whichever is doing good, it is something like, 1960, the average shelf life of the industry became less than 15 years. Whether it's Airbnb or Dropbox or YouTube or Instagram or Chatbot or Oculus or WhatsApp. And today, if we see all these companies emerged in less than 3 decades. So the conventional businesses, they have to do innovation, either by product or production or supply or new product or new market. If they don't do it, the company will have a disruption. That's what I gave the few examples, right? The familiar products example, like how the brands are struggling to do that. World-class companies couldn't able to survive. So what we have to do, the conventional businesses need to reinvent themselves by 3 basic formulas, according to Christensen. They have to define what is customer value proposition. They call CVP. You have to define customer value proposition. Once if you know customer value proposition, what are the resources you have to deliver the value? Again, I'll go a little slow because there's a conceptual concept of how to reinvent your business model. What are the resources you have? If you don't have a resource, you have to build, right? Once if you have a resources, you have to redefine your profit formula, right? Profit formula. Profit is profit. But how are you going to do revenue model, cost structure model, margin model, resource velocity? We have to do what is your profit formula. And how are you going to achieve it? Through processes. Again, I'll tell you, key resource, processes, define profit formula, and create customer value proposition. I will give you example what does it mean, what I said now. With the help of technology, how this can be created or how it can be done with the help of the businesses. Let's see, right? If we talk about key resources, let's take an example of retail as an industry, correct? Retail as an industry. Modern trade retail. Whenever I say retail, modern trade retail, right? And what is your key resources you have for that you are going to make it? End of the day, retail also sells the product which is available in Kirana shop or maybe in the roadside shops, right? But when you are selling this product into the modern trade retail, there are some resources we require. It could be people, it could be technology, it could be equipment, it could be information or channel, partnership, brand. There are multiple things makes resources, right? If I put it in retail, what are the things? Physical showroom. Saris from Kochi, right? There is a Lulu. There is a Lulu. 2,000 cars need to be parked or 1,000 plus cars. 3 lakh square feet physical building, complete air condition, correct? And there is a multiple portfolios like a product manager, visual merchandiser, category manager, Merman, Catman, Wishman, multiple profile selected with a specialist on the store. Then you have a physical parking. These are all the things are resources. But if you are keeping everything, if you sell the product, obviously your profit formula, your expenses based on this. For that you require processes. When you say processes, it includes IT, design, development, product, rules and metrics, your margin, how your requirement in the investment part, credit terms, vendors, suppliers, and norms and all. You will have an immediate impact to the customer value. What is customer value? When the customer goes to Lulu, what is the value proposition? Shopping as an experience. That target customer love to spend on weekends, right? And probably they look for what is the value offering. Fully air conditioned. There will be store entertaining, in-store entertainment, customer engagement. Now, same model, if I want to replicate in online retail, you are a finance people, you know how the costing works, right? How the costing works on this? How the costing works? If it is a physical retail, rent. Every store today having at least 80 to 100 rupees per square feet. If you are having a 3 lakh square feet, what is your rent? What is your air condition cost? End of the day, whether you sell tomato inside the store or outside the store, the rate should be same. In fact, if you want to buy inside the store, it should be cheaper than that. But the problem, they can't able to sell cheaper because their operating costs, air condition, parking, professionals, tax, GST, computerized billing, the space. This became almost 3 to 5x more than your normal cost. It may not, even though you say it's a volume, it may not. Sorry, because of time factor, I'm going little fast. Now, you see what is the value proportion. If the same product comes to online retail, what will happen? There is no physical store, no physical merchandise. Even inventories are become virtual. There is no locational preference. Physical store means it should be out of the city, the rental, right? The location, layout principles, store makes environment, store ambience, electricity, air condition, the people who work in the profiles, correct? All the things, if you want to make virtual store, nothing is required. If you don't have nothing, what will happen? Your store become virtual. Your product somewhere stays anywhere the place in India. So what will happen? Your inventory cost goes down. Your operating cost goes down. That's why online retailer, the value proposition, what we talk about, right? Customer value proposition. Here, online shopping make customer to make shopping became buying. They'll have a convenient shopping. Product will reach to the customer. In physical retailer, you go towards the product. Complete value proposition changes. So what will happen? Higher discount, higher margin. Why? Because the retailer will transfer those expenses to the customer. That is what's happening today. Everybody love to buy through online retailer. Why? Because there is no cost. Comparatively, is operating cost reduced. And today, that's why if you see Walmart and all became struggle, because in India, online retail became so growth, higher in rate, the growth rate, CAGR and all, the conventional retail are finding difficult, except DMart. Always there is exemption, right? So what we talk about e-commerce. E-commerce rapidly become a new normal, resulting, especially post-COVID, right? They could able to reach the completely customer paradigm shift. That's what I say, paradigm shift. Absolutely significant growth and opportunity expand into online presence, because data is no data reached across India. There is no connectivity issues, whether you go to tier 1, tier 2 or rural. Reliance could able to create a fabulous network across India. And another thing, what's happening is cyber security became one challenging, but the good thing about it, personalization is happening. We know what type of customer uses what product, the reach became easier. And what is happening is virtual and augmented reality became easier when you want to reach to the selected audience. Any other questions? Sutar sir? If you are there, any
Yes,
questions? I don't know, chat box, I'm not getting anything. Sorry. I could see only you. That's why I'm troubling you.
No. There is one question from Sudha. She's asking if the future of mobility is EV, then why does Switzerland want to ban EV?
So this question I'm addressing second times. It also depends upon the country capability and competency. Country capability and competency. Every country has its own characteristics. Italy now today banning ChatGPT. European countries, they can talk anything, because if you travel 10 kilometers, you will reach different countries. The size and volume. Switzerland might think, because that is their option. But what will happen after 10 years? If they don't use it, Italy will say, we are against ChatGPT. You see, after 10 years, where they stand in the global map. Probably they may restrict their own countries, nothing wrong. See, that is one great thing about business. There is nothing right or wrong in the world. The thing which is today right became tomorrow wrong. Whatever today became wrong, tomorrow became right. We don't know. And Swiss take this as option. That is their option. Even they don't want to do it. If political changes, everything will change. These are all the temporary thing. Nobody could stop the technology upgradation or whatever happening in the innovation in the market. I still remember 2005 when I was replacing my P2 to P3, the size of the memory hard disk, 2.5 kg. The price of the hard disk, 9,000 rupees Seagate. And the size is more than 1.5 feet. Weight is 2.5 kg. Price is 8,000. And today you tell me what is your memory card is weight? Maybe less than 5 grams. What is the price? Less than 1,000 rupees. And what is the size? I said 3 grams, right? Just imagine this much size. Anybody could able to stop it. If people can stop, maybe for the time period. In the long run, we have to adapt the change, especially technology. If they don't change it, In India also, EV, we are talking about why we couldn't able to make it compulsory and make it because India is one of the largest producer of automobile in the world. If we replace the entire thing into EV, what will happen? The highest contributor of GDP as well as employment overnight became a problem. There should be an organic growth, radical innovation doesn't help sometimes. It is always to grow organically. By the time market will have a change and adaptability. If you go to EV, it has its own advantage. The market is completely changed. That's what I said, right? When the EV vehicle comes, our mentality, our shopping, our buying pattern of using vehicle will have a different culture altogether. If your vehicle get repaired, you don't need to call mechanic. You'll have to call techno guy. Technology guy will present because almost the OEM components which is reduced to conventional vehicle to that EV vehicle doesn't have a engine oil, boss. There is no engine concept also. There is no oil concept. There is no silencer. Tell me what is the business what we talk about? It look like a car, but it may not have the characteristics, physical characteristics of the car, which is used in the petrol or diesel. Completely market change evolve. New segment will evolve. We'll have to adapt. Customer will get a value proposition, good mileage, save earth, 3PL, right? Triple bottom line approach. People, profit, planet, all the jargons will emerge. People will use more recycle. After 10 years, the government have a scrap policy. People may not buy old car, they may not keep it also. If they keep, the expense become more. Instead of that, they'll buy a car. If you do recycle, you will get more value for your existing car. People will replace. Even today, you can see this segment, right? None of the mechanics today repair the vehicle. Only they replace the components. Repair करने का आते नहीं है, करने का भी जरूरत भी नहीं. Market will evolve. It's bound to change. But only thing that's a paradigm shift, right? When you go back, it became expensive. Earlier, there was tailor. And that time, nobody buys ready-made, right? Everybody go to tailor and buy, customize. But when the ready-made comes, mass production, mass distribution, everybody shifted to ready-mades. There are few tailors who have survived. But today, this trailer, the tailors are called what? Fashion designers. When they do customize, they charge premium. If you go back, you have to pay premium. That's a normal characteristics, normal phenomena. Nobody could stop. So, any other questions, sir? Biswajin, sir?
No, sir. Till now, it's that's
I'm
it.
happy if they ask any more questions because it's much more interactive than monotonous, right? Today, I don't know how many
Correct.
examples I quoted. After 10 books, all my examples I quoted in a nutshell without PPT. So if you could able to take out the points, we could have discussed in more. Because a country like India is a fantastic country, very interesting. You will find many good examples. Everything is talk about opportunity.
Correct.
We are in a property of intellectuals. India is a country of globally positioned as intellectuals. So how are you going to use it? Whether there is education, there is a change happening, not because of NEP. That is also going to happen. Whether it is going to be a conventional retail or digital education or conventional education or hybrid. Everywhere there is a solution, hybrid. That is going to be the future model is going to be hybrid. Even in automobile, hybrid is entered. Correct? And what we are talking about, we are moving towards surplus economy, scarcity to surplus, Uber model. Today, many people in Mumbai, we know, I'm sure there are few people from Mumbai. You see how many Uber and Olas were surviving. Everybody said if those guys come, the conventional vehicle will go. Everybody survives. Because country, India is blessed with 140 crore population, market is for everyone. I still remember always says, if you go to Tirupati, if the mandir delivers 1 lakh free food, doesn't mean that entire private hotel is going to die. People have 1 day food at Tirupati temple, remaining 3 days they'll have a food at outside. Still, if you see Tirupati, it runs with caterer, restaurant, big businesses, 5-star to 3-star to free foods. Market is for everyone. It is happening across India. Yeah, because market is so big, we are blessed with market will survive on its own.
Sir, just one recent question got popped up from Rajesh.
Yes.
He wants to know why it is so proving so difficult in digitizing the agriculture sector in India, and what is going on this space.
Sir, agriculture, I'm not sure about it, but I can tell you 3 things which is happening in now. I recently been to a couple of MSME conferences. Today, agriculture is a huge segment where we are benchmarking. I know from Maharashtra, group of farmers traveled to that agriculture farming, Israel, and now they are talking about productivity, improvements, cost of the product, technology they are using more, and India is already largest But yes, there is some challenges. Government is working on it. But trust me, technology is going to widely used in agriculture too. But one challenge part which you find, still technology to Indian market is not cheaper. Still it is expensive. I'll tell you why I said this. I still remember Walmart used to do in 80s RFID, radio frequency identification. Because of implementing RFID, Walmart could able to have a good profit. That was mentioned in the Harvard case himself. Now RFID means radio frequency identification. That RFID tags must be costing $8 to $10 or less than $2. Example. In India, it's a different country. We are low price, high volume game. For an example, if you go to the store, you will get 5 rupees chocolates. India mein 5 rupees is a big jargon. I'm telling you honestly, if you are not in that segment, whichever product you are, you will be out. 90% FMCG products, ready to eat products or fast foods comes under this segment. 5 रुपए का चिप्स मिलेगा, चॉकलेट मिलेगा, बिस्किट मिलेगा, शैम्पू मिलेगा, साबुन मिलेगा, नहीं मिलेगा तो you will be exited. Now, if you sell 5 rupees Parle G biscuit, even Parle G has 2 rupees biscuit. Tell me, how do you put RFID into this? What is the cost of RFID into this? And customer buys low quantity in India because market is so big. So technology still not reachable to the bottom of the pyramid because India is a country of low price, high volume. And still it will take some time when farmers are not getting a good price. Yesterday I was in Coimbatore, day before yesterday. Trust me, sir. I saw the onion for 3 rupees kilo. Same thing in Maharashtra also you come across. Now, what is the technology do you use to make them to get a richer price? That onion which used for that, South Indian by sambar, that kilo was 5 rupees. In Mumbai, it's 100 rupees kg. How are you going to use technology to increase the price revenue to the farmer? That is going to be the challenge. Research are happening. Now we are trying to work on many things are working on the direction, how to get technology to use higher productivity. People are getting educated, but it will take some more time, especially in agriculture. Because there are multiple parameters decide the products. Climate, their productivity depends upon natural calamities, yield, return. But technologies aggressively started using in the agriculture sector. I'm sure recently been to one of the Dapoli belt where there is a mangoes and cashew nuts highest producer in the Maharashtra. They are using extensively quite technology to get into in the day-to-day practices. But still it takes some time because as I said, right, the cost of implementation became much more challenging than the yield. May take some time. Any other questions if you come across? Yeah.
Thus far, yes, one more question, sir. So he's asking, Loganathan, can you please tell how the upcoming changes will impact in audit, and as a CA, what should we equip ourselves with?
Sir, I am not a chartered accountant. Probably Vishwanandan sir could able to answer it better because I am not a chartered accountant, trust me. But again, I'll tell you, Watson, which was created by IBM. Watson, go to the Google and check it out. What is Dr. Watson? You ask anything that gives data in 3 seconds to less than 3 minutes. And auditing always is outsourced. Auditing profession himself is outsourced. Technology is going to replace that also. Today, if we talk about lawyer profession, recently I moved to one of the flats. Trust me, I never did agreement through lawyers. I asked that Google and just get the ChatGPT, like they are given solution and 100% customizer. Only I change the name and date. Probably near future, the technology AI will influence in auditing profession too. But again, it might be challenging country like India because verticals are more. It is always aligned with multiple parameters. Probably Biswaranjan can able to answer it better because he is a practicing auditor, not me. I accept my capacity not to answer this.
Sir, with your permission, I'd like to have my inputs on this. See, without business, there is no question of assurance. And without assurance, there is no question of governance over the business. So it always goes hand in hand. And with change in technology, with the change in how businesses are being done. And sir, you have two things you have rightly pointed out in your earlier discussion is economy of scale and economy of scope. And that actually gets reflected down how accounting through financial statements are going to happen over this economic transactions. And as an auditor, unless we do capacity building in terms of how we perceive these transactions on a fair basis, how we evaluate this business conditions on fair basis, then the ecosystem is going to collapse. So as an auditing profession, we need to always embrace ourselves with the transition, evolve and transform so as to being relevant by being sustainable. That's what I can sum up with based on inputs and discussion over last 1 hour.
Okay, I think it's the best answer because I'm not an auditor. I take lectures to the auditors to some extent on the strategy part, not with auditing, but again, if the automated robotic option comes, that will change the business model. Today, I remember in Kerala, one bank started using robotics, Catholic Syrian Bank, some banks in Kerala, and it dispersed the loan in less than 30 minutes, sir. It gives 100% production, whatever it requires, they are able to do it. If tomorrow everything became ready-made template, if the tablet right or wrong, the algorithm can be created that auditing also can have a better product, at least for the beginning, not complicated. If the auditing require 100%, that 40% components can be with the help of technology can be done individually. That processes can be streamlined. That's what the technology always try to attempt, right? When they don't do 100%, they try to do it with 20-30% first. Then they see the acceptability, then they'll increase the reach. Normally, it can be. Any other questions?
There is one question from Rajesh. He's asking again on the assurance side, will internal audit be replaced by an AI digital overload that monitors every transaction in real time? And what if ERP vendors start providing this as a feature?
You can be best one.
Yes, it's a very interesting question, Dr. Iyengar. Normally, what internal audit was there 10 years back and what perceived to be today, and what is getting imagined, what it will be after say 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, I see a lot of buzz in it. And again, AI, yes, is going to, of course, come in as a process, and it is going to disrupt every aspect of business being done in an economic environment. But as a part of assurance service which talks about opinions through wisdom and control processes, we are going to always play a pivotal role. But the scope, the magnitude, and the areas of internal audit, the way it been looked into today and the way it is going to be looked in tomorrow will be a different in terms of what the scoping will be. But yes, of course, with AI, we need to go hand in hand. But the role of internal audit or assurance profession, I feel it will be greater and larger tomorrow with involvement of business on a very large scale.
Sir, if the shared data system comes, what will be the role of the internal audit, sir? For example, blockchain. If the blockchain come into the picture, what will happen to that? When there are multiple players come into the picture for the single transaction, if the same data shared by 10 different people, what will happen to the role of auditors?
Sir, internal audit or the assurance service, if I say, it is not about validating a transaction. It can be validating the process itself. And that can be a situation where the technology and the assurance profession can complement each other in refining those processes.
But once if it's streamlined, that role of the auditor will have a profile less, right? That's what I'm talking about.
See,
the blockchain.
When I'll just put it in this prospect, like in early 80s and beginning of 90s, when computer come in, a lot of people talked about that accounting process will go down and accounting jobs will have a very sizable haircut in terms of employability. But computer remained and it evolved very large scale. same time, accounting job also evolved. So, though I don't have a very clear imagination on how it is going to play around in future, but I still believer that both need to complement so as to have a sustainable ecosystem.
From Biswaranjan sir, I'd like to take the conclusion remark for future of businesses. The future of business is going to have a, please write it down somewhere in your mind. The future of business is all about alliances, strategic alliances, because everyone has a competence. We'll have to leverage that. For example, if you talk about Tesla, right? Not only Tesla, any world-class companies, if you see, they have that unique characteristics of alliances, because everybody may not have a capability and competency. Probably their competency and capability to have something different. Tesla, Elon Musk, if you read his story, he's not an engineer, but he could able to sell the future car.
Correct.
He started with PayPal, payment gateway system. From PayPal to SolarCity to Tesla, Tesla to now he's sending SpaceX to Twitter. You can see is how the growth happened. And if you see only Tesla, I can talk for at least 2 hours. That strategy, what he has done, how he utilized the factory, what are the technology supporters, design parts, nothing he had won. Everything he formed alliances and he could able to create. That's what near future what will happen. Everything will have to grow together. Competition to co-optation. Along with profit, also take care of people and planet. These are all going to be the future trends. And we have to adapt the businesses based on these trends. And we become more and more customer friendly. End of the day, whether you like or not, customer is the king. We'll have to make customer friendly. And today we are moving towards getting a customer and evolve entire businesses around them. The way Amazon do, Paytm do. Once if we get the customer, they don't allow the customer to go other platforms. Amazon Shopping, Amazon Prime, Amazon Pay. You can see that entire product evolves around the customer. And Amazon will try to involve in other products which they don't have because they have a capability and competence to bring everything. The near future, what will happen? Alliances, right? Alliances. It's like a part of marriages, corporate marriages. I'm sure auditing profession will have a commendable growth, cultural alliances, financial distribution, right? And today corporates are become corporatization. People will come to know the new jargons will evolve. The role of auditor is going to be the commendable in near future. There is no doubt about it. That only thing you'll have to evolve. That's the new things we'll learn. The existing job may not, but the new jobs will have to become more and more alliances. How do you want to become expert on that? In fact, today we talk about alliances. How many people know the concept of green mail? We know email, we know Bluetooth. What is green mail? It is used in the alliances, right? Strategy of alliances, green mail. Anybody knows the text? You can prove that. Emerging, everything coming in the new market, new every day, new jargons were coming. And have you ever heard of auditors? Tell me honestly, 10 years before, Unicon, Decacon, Sunicon, Minicon, Unicon, Ectacon, Decacon. Tell me honestly, these are all evolved recently. So we'll have to change, adapt the changes. And today we talk about unicorns. India produced 230 unicorns. And everybody wanted to do scale it up. And how they want to make it run businesses. Everybody may not be expert. They have to collaborate. If you come to finance, without finance, nobody can able to do. If there is finance, auditor are the main businesses. So you have to, my suggestion is, most of the times I find auditors, please don't be in silo as far as learning is concerned. You have to be multi-domain, multi-industry specific. Airline, how it works, manufacturing, how it works, FMCG, how it works, services, how it works. Every industry has a uniqueness. As an auditor, don't be silos. You also get industries thing, what is happening there. Try to get rid of, that openness in the mind, learn everything, build your competence, form an alliances with multiple people, multiple industry sector. Learning only helps you to grow faster. That can't be replaced. That's why the new courses were emerging. CISA is coming, Certified Information System Auditor course are in, CFA is coming. Many courses are there today. And when the companies became global, when business became boundaryless, your knowledge also will go like that, right? Any questions further?
There is one question before that. Dr. Iyengar, I still remember when SAP came into fore in very initial days, they used to come with a tagline with wherever clients they need to implement it, adopt it or get adapted by it. I still believe that statement always been relevant even today and tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So there is a question from Pooja Bedi. She's asking what would be the best business processes or model for retail business in the information technology hardware sector and how to make it more digitized.
Sorry, again, that area is not my expertise. I closely work on that. This is again technical question. Probably she might be coming from IT background, working in audit and many good IT firm. So I request you to excuse on that.
Okay.
I don't want to give that answer which I'm not comfortable. My forte is different. I'm working at macro level on the strategy side.
Appreciated, sir.
My sincere regret. Maybe if I get some friends to address, connect me in LinkedIn. I have 70,000 plus, many auditors, many CFOs are there. If you pose the question, somebody will answer.
Okay. And one more compliment actually is for you and a curiosity to know, it is equally with me. Also, it is from Indrajit. Dr. Iyengar has talked so many relevant topics today. How Dr. Iyengar keeps himself updated as he has talked world over phenomenon for the last 4 decades.
I really don't know, sir. That's a learning process. Still, I'm learning. In fact, I closely work with the companies. We do learn from that. In fact, if you see all the industries, especially whichever industry, stay relevant to the business. Talk about the aviation. See how the aviation business has changed a lot. Because that is a mode of transport. But today, luxury to mode of transport. See the transformation. Airline was premium to today it become low-cost carrier, LCC. Full service carrier to low-cost carrier. If Indigo became success, there is a genuine hard work behind the brand. That's why it became success. Whichever brand is failed, including Kingfisher to even latestly that GoAir also filed insolvency. If you see, there are some scope for improvement. Maybe they will do. I'll tell you, most of the businesses where they fail, sustainability became challenging. They deliver more what they commit, which is not a good practice. Indigo commits less and deliver more. They were focusing only core business. Their aircraft utilization more the time. Aircraft turnaround time is more. Using standardized aircraft. And you can see that only Airbus, certain model. If you see success, definitely there is a strategy behind. And every success brand has some similarity. When they purchase 100 aircraft, become a record. Now, Air India placed 470 aircraft. Just imagine the business what they could have placed. 470 to 1,000, 45,000 crore order. World biggest. How they are going to change it? Now industry is going to struggle. Small player may not survive. That's what sir said, right? Viswaranjan also talked about economies of scale. Now people talk about the timing. When you travel in airline, what I look for? Food becomes secondary. I should reach on time. So whenever you do business, core businesses need to be focused. No deviation from the core business. Core business, no deviation. Seriousness, focus. Allied business, we can. And we can keep on discussing it, whichever industry are we in. You can see how the businesses are run with the purpose. And sustainability has become very challenging. I'm not talking about ESG and all. I'm talking about sustainability, how we make relevant business to stay relevant in a successful manner. You commit something, deliverable is not there, then bound to fail. So if you want to stay relevant, we have to be core content to be strong. If you want to become core strength strong, only reading will help you. Any other questions, sir? I really happy.
No, sir, that's all till now.
Fantastic. So I really thanks for that CA Institute for giving this opportunity. In fact, I always love to have a more interactive sessions, but thanks to Sarkar sir made it more interactive thanks to his support. The one thing what I say, the greatest danger in the times of turbulence is not turbulence. That is, you can't survive with yesterday's logic. We have to stay for tomorrow relevant. If you want to make stay tomorrow relevant, we should be aggressive, we should be agile, we should be able to predict, and we have to change based on the future, we have to act. Again, I started with the lecture, there's no right or wrong thing in the world. Please understand that. The thing, whatever yesterday became wrong, today is right. I still remember example. Check it out on Google. Type the rigged jeans, right? Ripped jeans. Ripped jeans means the torn jeans, right? Nobody could examine 3 decades before. Even one cloth, one stitch goes, it goes to rejection material. But today, you can go to Google and type reproduce jeans, which is sold for 10,000, 5,000 rupees. Completely torn. People are buying it. Coffee today served very cold, which is supposed to be served hot. Ice cream today serving not cold, which is hot. Please understand that dynamics were changing. One thing remained common. You know what is it? Process. Within process, we try to adapt the changes. Always process will be there. Everything process driven. During the process, we try to use all our strategic principles, effective, efficiency, and all. So focus on the process work, focus on the strategic part. I'm sure we can make relevant business even for tomorrow. But we have to accept with the open here, change is inevitable. Thank you for the great opportunity. And this is my association with CA Institute for more than almost a decade now, more than that. And again, we meet them, most of the people in our DBMF course in Hyderabad Center. I'm happy that CA Center is coming very good. They never diluted the quality. I always say, even though I'm an MBA faculty at the Premium Institute as a director, knowledge-wise, CA students are the best. Content-wise, but scope for improvement. I don't say weakness. If management students replace you because they come with the management concept, not with the subject concept. If you want to replace them, that's why CA Institute now tied up with most of the business schools, and they are coming with all the regional centers, very good infrastructure, whether it's a Jaipur, Hyderabad, or Chennai, or maybe a couple of centers in Delhi, I don't know. But these courses, you have to evolve. They are not profit-oriented, very low price, volume-driven. Still, they focus on quality. I really appreciate that center and the initiatives what Institute is doing.
Thank you so much, sir. It makes sense hearing it out for last 90 minutes. As a student, even today, as a professional and more of a student today. So my one leg is heart and soul is with ICI, and second leg is with IIM Kolkata. So I can understand what you said. And in today's time, when micro segmentation has taken place over economy of scale and economy of scope, and it gets evolved with operation, I think it makes sense to be adaptive to the situation, and so as to be stay relevant by timing the time. And your thought process and insights on this topic was very thought-provoking. I believe participants would have taken a keynote of it, and they will put a thought process in the process they are into, whatever the process or the profession they are into, so that they can stay relevant and sustainable. So once again, on behalf of Board of Internal Audit and Management Accounting, sir, I am grateful and thankful for your insights. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure. And really, I enjoyed the interaction. And probably we can see again all the people, because we do interact very frequently. You can connect me in LinkedIn, whoever want, please, you share, connect me in LinkedIn profile. And we do write regularly article. We do get ideas. In fact, today there are 2-3 questions comes, but honestly, even though today I have not answered it, I'm going to work on that. I'll try to answer it in near future, wherever I got opportunity. Otherwise, I'll write an article also in the paper. I'll try to do that and address the solutions. And I'm always available in LinkedIn. Let's stay in touch. And thank you, sir. How many people are online today? They attended?
The tech team need to revert back, because like you, I am also only seeing yourself.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye.
Pleasure of meeting you.
Yeah.
Pleasure of meeting you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.